For sure. Oh, dude. This might be a thing.
I wonder what the odds are. She's like, yeah, just swing by anytime on Sundays. And
I'm sure she wouldn't care at all.
just nice and halfway in the middle. Oh, my God.
We have a legit podcast studio now. Someone else's house.
Yeah.
Okay, Rich Boy, Andre 3000, Lil Jon, everybody else. You know, that's how it works.
And the cops coming through, kicking in the door.
Welcome to Running Beer and BS, a podcast where we discuss those things and more. I'm Flores.
I'm Johnny.
And this is episode 20. Today we're going to talk about what not to do during races. What's really going to mess you up if you try to do it during a race, and kind of push you through that, as we're in the middle of race season. So you may have already screwed up some of these now, but maybe maybe in the next few weeks you won't screw them up again.
It's good learning lessons.
Yeah, you're like, hey, maybe if you guys would have done this episode earlier, we wouldn't be in the situation.
We oddly enough got this requested because people have races coming up shortly. And they're like, so how about like a heads up on what I should expect?
Yeah,
and not do.
Yeah, I don't want to do what you guys already know not to do, but you haven't told us this yet.
You know, when you shit the bed, tell us about what happened and why you did it. Like,
yeah,
so
why did shit happen and what's going on with it? But as always, we're going to start with what's dehydrating us. John's got another delicious one, so it looks like. I have not tried it yet. It looks a little heavy.
Yeah, so so I got those fillers from those fresh fills from Buckeye Lake.
And they call them fresh fills. They're literally, it's a 32-ounce crowler.
Yeah, it's like a can that closes itself. So anyways, because we didn't want them going bad, we kind of did them back to back. Then we got to get back to our listeners' beers. Just didn't want these to go bad. So anywho, this time it is Buckeye Lake Brewing, and it is their Scotch Strong Ale. And this bad dude is coming in at 10%, son. I will tell you, it has an absolutely beautiful, like, dark, brownish, reddish. You can see through it, but that thing is nice and dark. And it's got a decent little head on it, considering it came out of the crowd. That
looks similar to like what an Irish red should have looked like. I mean, the one last week didn't really have that look to it. As a little darker, maybe.
Oh, baby.
This is delicious. I'm not a big Scotch ale fan.
It's a little boozy.
I don't think it's that boozy.
I like it.
I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah, so another one from Buckeye Lake.
Buckeye Lake Brewing. Good job. Good on you. So on the note though of the crowler, crowler?
They're crowlers, yeah.
Crowler, yeah. Why did I say not a howler?
No, crowler.
Crowler.
You have a growler and a crowler, a can growler.
And you have a howler, which is a small growler. Yes.
I think it's also 32 ounces, right?
Correct. But this is a crowler because it's a howler that's a can.
Right.
Okay, anywho. The one flaw with this is both times I've poured beers out of it.
You would have thought John had 15 beers before he was pouring them.
Like, it was fucking ridiculous. It looks like the goddamn can's pissing all over the place. And I'm like, dude, I check and see if there's like a small hole where the sea meets, and it's not. Like, we watched carefully, and it's just. It's the way the lip is bent on it. It's
like too deep in there. So like when they bent, I don't know.
I don't know, physics. I don't know, but it like wraps back around. So if you have one, be warned.
Or maybe tell us how to pour it if there's like a proper way of doing it and we're not.
Something's happening. Like, yeah, educate us. But yeah, I made and we're recording.
I was going to say that here in a second.
We're recording at a offsite location at a friend's house.
Yeah, so
and, we're making a mess in her basement. So
yeah, so it's Memorial Day weekend. We want to bring that up. So really just it's not a shout out because that sounds weird. Just remember why we have this weekend. Remember the purpose of the weekend, and thanks to all those that had served. We're not using that.
No. Can't use that because you're not thinking to people who have served. Memorial Day is for the people.
That's what I said. Remember those that had. I didn't say. Did I say thank? I didn't know. Yeah, there's a difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I understand this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
one's dead, one's not.
Right. I'm saying remember those who did.
If I said had served.
Right, that are no
yeah.
longer with us, that had paid the ultimate price,
Hey, we
are
can
no longer here.
We can still use this. It's just us rambling.
Yeah, it's normal. But because of that, I was at a friend's house, a mutual friend of ours, and we were having dinner and stuff like that. Lost track of time. John was already on his way down to the house. So we just called him and said, come here. And they're like, yeah, you guys can just record in the basement. So we're in their basement, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hijack it.
It would be pretty sweet if this could turn into like our off, like, because it's perfectly, I mean, it's literally dead center of our houses now.
Yeah, it's dead center, and the acoustics in here aren't too bad. I didn't have to do too much with the sound. It's not bouncing around. They've got a really nice sectional that we're sitting on with like a
straight lounged out.
Yeah, John will have some pictures on.
This is kind of redunculous
on Instagram with it. But
so yeah, you're already going to see this on the story, and you'll be like, "What the fuck are the guys doing?"
Yeah, that doesn't look like either one of their houses.
And then now you'll go back and realize,
I see what
I see what they were doing.
But yeah, John was spilling the beer all over.
Yeah, so
there.
Yeah,
she did say though. She goes, if you get it on the couch, it'll be fine. We won't even notice. And I'm like, no, we're not going to get this on this very nice sectional here. So
yeah, she would have killed us.
Yeah, indirectly.
Yeah,
indirectly by her husband.
Yeah, it's a good beer. Buckeye Lake Brewing. That's the second one we've had. Like I said, 10%. So 16 ounces.
It's going to be a fun night.
I think that would probably be the one and done kind of rule on that one.
Oh, for sure.
I can't imagine drinking two of those.
I've always thought, like, all right, who gets the 10%ers like in growlers and stuff like that? Because once you open them, like you couldn't do this by yourself. I mean, well, you could.
I guess if the only way I would drink all 32 ounces of this, if I knew 100% I was staying at the house and not going anywhere.
But even then, I wouldn't want to. Like, by the end of it, you're just like...
Yeah, it's heavy. Well, and this is kind of a creamy kind of beer, too.
Yeah, it's smooth. I don't think it has as much of a boozy bite to it as you were saying initially.
Don't think so?
No.
Well, you took kind of a small little sip, too. Hey, speaking of your small little sips... you know what we needed? Let's discuss something on the podcast just to see how well this goes over.
I'm very worried now.
See, you took a big boy drink and it made you cough that time. It's not. I guess boozy's maybe not the right word. It is. Is that molasses? Something. Yeah, I like that beer a lot.
Stings the nostrils. Not gonna lie, that smells like pure gasoline.
You know what we need to do one time? Because at some point on one of the podcasts, you disclosed that you've never done a beer bong or you've never done a shotgun to beer.
Yeah,
we need to do it. We need to get you to do a beer bong.
Why?
Why not?
Mostly why?
I mean, it's just kind of something that should happen.
I mean, I would say for our listeners to vote on it, but I already know what that vote's going to be because our listeners hate us.
Well, no, they hate you. They love me.
They don't hate me.
I mean, I just think it'd be a good idea for you. It's time to...
We'll talk about that another time.
We're going to make it happen, folks.
We don't need to be filming stuff and putting it all over the interwebs.
Oh, I didn't say we needed to film it. I'm just saying I think we should do it.
Well, then what's the point of doing it? If we're not going to film it and show people do it, like, hey, guys, Jonathan's about to do a beer bong.
I mean, I think just doing it should be suffice.
Whatever. How was your week?
It was awesome. Had a good week. Couple little small runs. So went up to Mo yesterday. We were supposed to do a long loop.
That didn't work out?
The long loop got consolidated down to a 21 miler.
It was warm. Dude,
I got my dick knocked in the dirt yesterday, man. I mean, I got just annihilated. The person I was running with was just chipper as all get out too. I mean, was just completely unfazed, was feeling good. And I'm like, hey, I got bad news, dude. Like,
this is not going well for me.
Like we need to decide what's going to happen because I am pissing fucking like maple syrup. And I'm feeling pretty dehydrated, feeling pretty shitty.
Did you guys have 8 out there?
We did. I mean, so here's what's crazy. In 21 miles, right, I drank both of my bottles, which at minimum are 20 ounces. I think they might be 26-ounce bottles. I drink both my bottles of water plus 2 liters in my bladder in 21 miles.
That's a lot.
And I was still, I mean, I can't even describe the jacked up, thick, dark color of yellow my urine was. Like, it was.
Were you getting enough salt too?
So I don't know what was amiss. I don't know. It was really bizarre. It was just really, really bizarre. But the person I was with, I'm like, hey man, like you go ahead and go. And he's like, no, I'll feel like a dick if I do that. And I'm like, listen,
I'm just telling you, you're not a dick.
Yeah, I'm like, you got something you're training for, go for it, like go do it. He's like, well, you know, I mean, if we can get like north of 20, 21, he's like, I don't really need 20. I think he needed 24, 25. He's like, fuck it, that's close enough. So off from Hickory Ridge, there's like this like super secret, like straight down the fucking hill, kind of unmarked trail that's there. Okay. Ron Dukes told me about it like 5 years ago. Ron Dukes like showed me it, and I kind of knew it was there, but not well enough to like, you know, use it, or I've never needed to use it.
Right. You're just like, it's there, but
yeah. And I've never thought I'd really kind of need it. Straight needed that shit yesterday, man. It was brutal. So, you know what though? What made it all better was at the end when I had I'm telling you, one of my favorite beers that's been out in a while is that 97.1 the beer.
Yeah.
From Land Grant.
I saw you guys had that.
Had that, and then went to Trails Inn Pizza because
you have to.
I mean, you kind of have to go. I still often wonder if that's like the world's shittiest food ever. And it just always tastes super
It always
good.
tastes amazing because it's the only thing that's right there. It's that or McDonald's.
Yeah. So
dude, I've got to tell you, I got to find the name of it. When we came back, Kayla and I went hiking at last year sometime.
Okay.
There's a restaurant, if you take like the long way back, so through Loudonville, and we took like another turn somewhere else, like a little further north, not very far north. There's like a hole in the wall like restaurant that used to be like an inn, and it's like delicious. I had like a burger with like goat cheese and sweet potato fries.
That's Malabar. Malbar restaurant or something like that. It's a white building. It's like a white, almost looks like a house or something like that.
Maybe.
It's a white building off to the right. It has like a well, like a natural spring.
Maybe.
I ate there after my first mow attempt. If we're talking about the same place.
Probably.
And you are right. That place is delicioso.
Yes, that's it. Malabar Farm Restaurant.
Yes, it is super crazy
so good. We were trying to find something to eat, and I was like, I don't know what this restaurant is. And they had, because we had Bellows, we were trying to find outdoor seating.
Yeah.
And they had outdoor seating, and we're like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it is super good.
Sorry to hijack that.
Oh, damn it. Okay. And then, so like I said, we went ahead and went to Trails Inn. Have you had Dogfish Heads? Because while I was there, I had Dogfish Heads. I don't know, Lupa Lao or something like that.
No,
it's like a IPA they have that has like coconut in it.
I have not.
It is not bad.
Is it bottled or is it
canned?
Oh wait, let me rephrase. Do they put it in some sort of drinking capacity that I can go to Kroger and get it?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It was canned. Yeah, I got it canned yesterday. But it was, so we had that yesterday. So that was my Saturday. Sunday, after having too much fun with people last night, woke up this morning and like...
Were you in partying with the New Moon folks? And I say party with the New Moon folks, I mean, you guys just headed down downtown Delaware while New Moon folks were there?
The cool kids were down there while the New Moon people were down there too.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we were down there. And woke up this morning, like, I mean, just dragging ass, and went out and met some of the people who was with us last night. And
so I thought it was funny, your text message, were they all late?
No.
Because you sent a picture, you're like, and then like you took both sides and there was no cars in the parking lot.
Oh, yes, they were late this morning.
Yeah, this morning.
That one, yes. Yeah, they were late. I'm like,
Well, you sent that, and I was like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it last night, and I was like, I saw that, I'm like, did they mix up parks?
No.
Or they all told John the other park?
So, there were a handful of us committed to being there, right? 2 showed up. 3 showed up that said they'd be there. 1 canceled last night, literally as he took his first drink. He's like, nope, yep, not going to make the run tomorrow morning. I'm like, well, I mean, at least he's calling it now.
Yeah.
And then the other person who's supposed to be there just straight up no-showed us. No call, no text, no nothing. Just straight up.
Was that me?
No.
Okay, because I didn't do that either. I made it up in my mind and I never said anything.
Yeah.
I told you I might be able to.
Yeah. It was funny because we started running it and I was like, we're just sitting there discussing like how far we wanted to go. I'm like, I don't know, man, maybe 2 hours of loops. I got to the 1 hour and I'm like, you know what, man, fuck it. Like
1 hour sounds good.
I am just tore up. My legs were heavy from Mo yesterday, plus drinking all night. And I'm like, well, and then tomorrow I'm heading up to Sheldon and Steph's wedding.
Oh, that's right. Where's that at?
Mo again. Oh. It's back up at Mo, and they're doing.
Is it where you park at the campground? You have to do a lap before you can meet them.
They are literally doing 5-mile loops for their wedding.
Really?
Yes, that's why it's at Mo. They're getting married at the North Shelter, right?
Okay.
So the North Shelter, the North Shelter is so isolated that there is literally one trail that leads to it, and then a road, and that's it. Like the trail, like. If you're at the covered bridge and if you ever notice this little trail that kind of goes like straight up a hill,
straight up,
that's it. That motherfucker is a third of a mile, and it is
straight up. I remember seeing it going up. Yeah, I'm not going up there.
Yeah. So they're doing their wedding at North Shelter, and then my understanding is after the reception, before, during, or after the reception, they're doing 5-mile loops.
Nice.
And you can do as many as you want or as few as you want. I think I might try and knock out 2 and just be done. But so no, I have like a super solid weekend of running alone. So I got to get these LBs down, man. I got people I'm trying to pace. Yeah. I got people I'm trying to pace out in Western States, and I got to get in shape for that.
Dude, good luck keeping up with them.
Yeah, that dude is fucking killing it right now.
It's going to be ridiculous. He's going to knock Western States out of the fucking park.
I hope so. It's funny because like when I'm like, yeah, I'll go out there and I'll pace him. Like in my head, I'm thinking, well, fuck, I'll pick him up at the 80-something mile mark.
Right.
He should be tired and walking.
Hopefully.
I'm fucking concerned he's going to be running away from me at the 80-mile mark. Dude, he is just in phenomenal shape right now. So
it's nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up like a small like meth habit or something to try to like just try to burn off some of those fucking extra LBs.
Can you pick up a small meth habit?
I mean,
like we're just gonna go up to Marion. I just need a little bit of meth.
I just need the smallest meth you have. Don't ever sell it to me again.
No. Just a little bit of meth.
Yeah.
I want to keep all of my teeth.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose my family.
It is just crazy. That drug, man. That drug and heroin, man.
It'll mess you up.
It is sad how bad it'll mess a person up. And it doesn't take much. It's pretty fucking quick.
No, yeah.
So that. That's kind of everything for me. I know you're getting ready to head up to Kettle.
Heading to Kettle. So week,
you probably haven't done a ton, have you?
No.
If you're smart, you haven't.
Well, this week last week. So we recorded on Monday. So it hasn't been. I mean. It's been less than a week since we recorded, but I got a few runs in, nothing crazy long. Yesterday I did 10 at High Banks. My goal was 2 hours. I just wanted to run for 2 hours, whatever that meant. No specific pace, no anything. I just want to go for 10 hours.
Did anyone come out and join you? I saw you had posted something.
No one came out. There's a few people that reached out, but no one ever.
It's that 7:30 shit, man. People are like 7:30. Fuck. Well,
I just knew it was going to be hot, and that's why I was like, I need to get out there. And I got out there. I probably started like at 7:45 since I knew no one was coming out. I'm like, well, whenever I roll out of bed, it's a 5K from a new place to High Banks. So I drove there because I wanted to get all of my miles on the trails. I didn't want to waste 6 miles.
Yeah. Is there a good way to run there from
23? So 23 I have a sidewalk to Lozelle. So I don't have that far. It's sidewalk all the way to Lozelle.
Lozelle. Taco Bell. Yeah, right there by Taco Bell. That's fantastic. That's like
Taco Bell Wendy's.
And by the way, that is the fucking worst Taco Bell.
I don't think I've ever been to the Taco Bell.
Oh my God, they're the fucking worst.
Are they?
There is. I will say. That one, and then the one in Delaware.
The one in Delaware is really bad because they're super slow, and you can't get around them when you're in the line. Like once you're in line, you're in line.
Fucked.
Like you're stuck.
Yeah, that one in Delaware. I mean, you know what? I actually take it back. The one in Delaware is worse than one on 23, but the one in 23 is fucking atrocious.
I'd never been to that. I told Kayla, was it last night? We made some dinner, and I was like, if I'm still hungry, I'll just go to Taco Bell because we have one much closer than we used to.
What's funny is the one on 23, they're faster. But they like those guys just don't give a fuck. Like they'll leave their mics on and talk shit. Like you can hear them talking sometimes. You're like, hey, they know they got a hot mic. They don't give a fuck. And then like they open the window, like, what's up? You're like, what's up? Like
money for product?
Money? They're like, all right. Okay. You're like, okay.
This is Taco Bell, right?
Like they are just like way laid back. I swear they must smoke weed all fucking shift. They're way laid back, but they're just kind of goofy.
But yeah, so I'm only a 5K from there, but I drove there and ran, and the first 4 or 5 miles felt fine, but then I don't know if I was just trying to push it too hard. Like I kept looking at my watch, which was a mistake I was making because most of my training I've been sitting in the mid 9s, and I'm like, I'm not throwing mid 9s in high banks, and I'm definitely not throwing mid 9s at kettle. So I don't know why. I don't even know why I'm even caring to look, but I think I was, and I was just pushing a little too hard. So like so I did one full loop with all of our outs, and then I did like a shorter loop and just ended with 10. I ended with 2 hours, like 2 hours and 2 seconds is what it was, because I tried hitting the watch at 2 hours and my finger slipped. I was already in the parking lot doing loops. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a good run. I mean, I got through it, so
that's all that matters.
Yeah, 2 hours yesterday. I did almost an hour today, and that's it. The rest will be, I'll probably run. So tomorrow, Monday, I'll rest Monday. I'll run a little Tuesday and Wednesday just like to keep my legs fresh.
Yeah.
And then I'll run a little on Friday when I get to Wisconsin just to keep my legs loose.
Speaking of kettle, if you guys are heading up, if any of the listeners are heading to kettle or like at, hit us up on the up on the socials. Let us know. Maybe Jonathan will have a gift up there for you. Take some shit up there.
Yeah, I'll have some stuff with me.
Hit us up.
You know damn well I'm harassing that packet pickup.
Yeah.
You guys like podcasts?
Yeah.
Here's a.
Yeah. So let us know if you guys are heading to kettle and everything like that. This weekend, what is it? The second? Oh, it's my niece's birthday, so I'll be doing that. Yep. Outside of that, though, I don't have anything uber planned. Now, the second, the night. So that means after 1 week after kettle, is that Mo?
2 weeks.
Is that?
Yeah,
is
it's
it
2 weeks because it's the 16th is Mo.
Yeah.
Because I'll be up there for a little bit of Mo. We'll talk about Mo.
Oh, I'm gonna be up there a fuck ton for Mo. I'm gonna be up there. I might go ahead and just crash somebody's crew and stay the night.
Yeah, I will probably be there. We'll talk about it more when it comes to it. I'll probably be there most of Saturday.
Yeah.
I just can't stay the night. I've got stuff on Sunday. So.
Yeah. What's fun is not being affiliated with a runner.
Yeah, and just doing it.
If you're not affiliated with a runner, you can go where the fuck you want, because what are they going to do?
I mean, I wonder if I could see if I could pay somebody for their third lap. I mean, third lap, I could still get out of there at a decent time.
Oof. No, dude, no.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning, it's decent.
You're not leaving at 2 a.m. You might be starting at 2 a.m.
No, because we didn't start. When did I run with you? We started at like 7.
You run from 5. Your third loop.
Yeah, we started at 7.
No.
We started like 7 or 8.
Your third loop starts at 7. Yeah,
7 or 8.
You might be able to, but yeah,
or a good portion of someone's third loop, like to get them somewhere,
get them over to the bridge, or pick someone up at the bridge.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that is, like, I get people wanting to try to knock it out without a pacer. Like that's pretty fucking tough. Yeah. Right. Like I question whether or not I'd want to do it personally, but if you want to do it, dude, more power to you. Like that's fucking awesome. I know plenty of people think that's how it should be anyways.
Right.
But if you have intentions of doing it without pacers, and then on the third loop you're like, I need a pacer. Yeah, it's about to get real.
Things are got to be real.
It's just about to get real.
That's true. I don't know. So, I might film a little bit. I've got some ideas. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
the next week.
That'd be fun.
But yeah,
maybe Oh.
But yeah, next week's recording it'll probably be another like either right when I get back Sunday night or another Monday night recording.
Sunday night would be kind of cool because then we can sit there and talk about how fucked up you are from the 100K. Yeah.
So running was good. Have you slept, Jonathan? I just want to sleep right now. I'm gonna press record and
just talk for an hour, John.
Flores. Oh, I'm up. Sorry. So I was running and there was woods and prairies.
So your big thing is getting in the head, staying straight in the head and everything like that.
Yes.
This might be a good episode for you.
It could be.
What not to do.
So yeah, we'll jump right into the to what not to do. So this was a listener requested episode. Like John said, we've had some people have told us about this and we were like, oh, we'll get to it eventually. And then John said it's come back up again this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kettle coming up now and then you got Mo and
this is technically the start of the Grand Slam, right?
Yeah, so you got
because Kettle's the first.
Now it is because Indiana moved. Yes, right. You're right. Yeah, so you got Kettle, then you got Mo, and then you got Hallucination, and then Indiana now.
Yep. And what's the last one?
Wait. Burning. Well, because normally there's 4. Oh no. Because
the Super Slam is what
the Super Slam.
What's his face
Burning River. Burning River added in.
That's the end, right?
That's Burning River's in July.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. Burning River.
Burning River's the third one then.
Yes.
So you have Kettle, in order. Mo.
Burning River,
Hallucination,
now Indiana. I think they moved to Indiana all the way to October, maybe.
Yeah, they moved it out because of the weather.
Yeah, which is funny. They basically moved the race to the fall version of when it was in the spring. You know what I'm saying? Like they just flipped it. They just moved it from spring to fall.
Right.
It's the exact same theoretic like weather kind of pattern.
Right.
At that time.
There's still a chance of the exact same weather.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Whatever.
But no, yeah. So this, like, people. We had some people asking us, like, "Hey, can you guys do an episode on what not to do during a race?" And they were kind of more specifically talk about hundreds or like ultras and stuff like that.
And this is not kind of because when we first started talking about this topic, I was like, "Oh, is this like our trail etiquette, like what to not to do on the trails and stuff like that?" No. That's not it. This is more or less like what can screw your race up.
Yeah. What should you not do to fuck your race up?
What could take you from I don't want a pacer to loop 3 going, yeah. Somebody please run with me.
So I think starting right from the bat on race morning, I think it's a super simple, like pretty well recognized idea for all levels of running, whether it's a 5K, 10K, marathon, 50K, 100 miler or whatever. Don't go out too fast. Just start off nice, slow, and steady. I know personally, especially so for people who are running Mo, you're going to see this when Mo starts. You're going to go down. You're going to start on the road. You're going to take a left onto the park road. You're going to go all the way down the park road until it dumps into a trail. I cannot stress enough. I honestly think it's so important to. This will sound crazy. Literally walk that entire park road.
I thought it was funny because when people watch your video that aren't runners, the film we made, they see like the race started, but why is John walking at the start? I'm like, because it's the easiest walkable part of it. Like,
yeah.
Why waste his legs on flat pavement?
And like if you run it, what's going to happen if you run that? You're going to get caught on the switchbacks.
Yes,
and you're going to get log jammed in there, and then you're stopping, you're starting, and then not to mention. You get people who are just trying to blaze up the trail on your left, and come on, man, it's 5 a.m. You got headlamps on, you got someone wanting to fly by you. So, don't take off like a bat out of hell. Be nice and disciplined. Be smart about it. You know what you have planned for pace wise. Stick with that, and that just naturally kind of overflows us right into the next one. That kind of is a nice little piggyback. At this point, I really hope 3 weeks out, I really hope you've thought about your overall pace. You kind of mapped it out. You kind of thought, okay, in every race is a little bit different. Some races are loops. Mo is 4 loops, right? Kettle is what?
Kettle's an out and back. Well, for the 100K out and back, the 100 miler is like a double out and back. Okay,
so
100K out and back, and then
like
the
a small
rest.
little, So then you got an out and back. There's one. Is it Yeti? That is a point to point. No,
No.
There's a race. There's a race that's a point to point. So the reason I kind of just stuttering and stammering at
We
this.
have Western.
Yeah.
Western's point to point.
So you need to know, okay, if it's a loop, I'm going to do loop 1 in this time.
Right.
Loop 2, I want to do in this time. Loop 3.
And make sure you're paying attention smart with the loops, or even an out and back. Like, you're not, well, let me rephrase. People in our stature and stuff, we're not throwing negative splits.
Yeah.
So you're being smart of, all right, my first loop for shits and giggles, we're saying it's going to take me 7.5 hours at Mo.
Yeah.
Your second loop's not going to be 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be 8.
Yeah.
But understanding that.
Yeah. I mean, so the other, one of the old possum sayings that you hear a lot that they'll throw around is start slow, finish even slower. Right. Like, just be ready to know that this is you're going to have a negative return. I mean, you're going to have a diminishing effect on your loops or on your splits or whatever you want to call them. So, stick with the plan. The best example I can think of that, and I mean, it was crazy when you looked at his splits versus what he had marked down on his little cue cards, what he wanted to do. Dave Wells, when he did Mo last year, it was crazy how dead on he had called it.
I think he stole you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, when you listen to this, because I know you listen even though you say you don't, because you comment on it. Did I tell you about that story? No. We were marking the course for Hangry, and all of us, like, so Catherine was texting him, and he comes back and says, like, Flores needs to hurry up and make it to the club. His girls are waiting. And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, and I'm like, wrapping my mind. I'm like, he knows it's John Flores, right? Like, I don't know, like, who he thinks he's talking about. And then it was basically because when Chad said I was a strip club DJ, that's what I sounded like. That's what he's like, oh, he needs to hurry up and get to his girls. And I'm like, so Dave listens.
Does he listen? Or
apparently.
Is he just,
he goes, I'll never admit it, is what he told Catherine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder. So anyways.
But yeah, I think he stole my little, like, pacing sheet that I made for you for when we were doing.
It is just unbelievable how well he manages.
Yeah.
But I mean, he
nerd.
Oh, he is a grinder, man. I mean, he just dials right in and hits it perfect. So, know your plan, stick to your plan. The do not, because like we're saying, like what not to do during a race. Your do not is do not deviate unless it's an emergency.
Right.
Right. Like there's always those unicorns. There's always those weird things that happen. Yeah, you do have to be somewhat flexible and ready to move. But if everything is going well,
hold your goal.
Hold it. Just lock in there. Don't get all ballsy and
don't say, "Oh, I'm feeling really good," because if you're in mile 15 of a 100-mile race, you're gonna feel really good at that point.
You should feel good.
Yeah, if you don't feel good at that point, there's bigger problems. But it's going to come back, and you've been training at a certain pace this whole time. You're preparing for a certain pace this whole time, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick it up by even 30 seconds per mile."
Yeah,
you'd be surprised on how much of a difference that makes. Over even just 5-10 miles, you're like, "Oh shit, I just burnt myself out.
I done fucked up." Yeah. This actually, we were talking about people running without pacers. This is actually a good one for if you are attempting a big race without a pacer, or if you are one of those people who like to do shit without crews. Be humble. Do not be overly cocky.
Bitch, be humble.
Yeah, if it starts going bad and you need help, do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask the aid station, "Hey, I need this," or "Hey, I need that." I remember when I was getting ready for my first 100 attempt, one of the pieces of advice I got was they said, "Hey, listen, this is your race. You're out there to run this race for you. You're not out there to run it for anybody else."
Yep.
You need to focus on yourself and your goals. So if you come in and you need something, do not be afraid to say, "Hey, I need this," or don't be a dick about it. Don't demand it, but just say, "Hey, listen, I need this. No, I need it like this. I need it. This is your day. You're allowed to be a little greedy and a little self-centered, without being a dick.
Right, and I think your crew, and it depends on who your crew is, or definitely people at the aid stations. I would say 90% of the people at the aid stations have either done races or understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
They're not going to think you're an asshole. They're not going to think anything there. If you need something, you need a certain way, or if you need something, they're going to help you because they know, like John said, this is your race. You trained so long to get to this point. It's not about you pissing them off because you wanted something. You wanted a 50-50 mix of heat and water, and they did 75% water or whatever, and you like poured it like, no, I need it like this.
Yeah, you're allowed to be a little bit of a prima donna. I mean, don't be a raging asshole about it. You know?
Yeah, because then you're gonna get your water bottle spitting.
Yeah. So that's something else to kind of think about. Talking about how even 30 seconds can really change your pace and like that. Something that people don't realize can really change. And I will tell you this without naming names. Saturday on my run, this actually happened. This legitimately happened on the run Saturday. I'm going to tell you, here's the story. Me and Cheesy Nuts are running up. We're doing the big loop. We set out to do the big loop before the wheels came off the suffer.
The plan was the big loop.
The plan was the big loop, and then the wheels came all the way off the suffer bus, and I had to make us deviate down this back hill. So me and Cheesy Nuts are running up this back road. It's on the long loop. It's back behind the dam. And I'm in the midst of telling him that, dude, this is a long ass road. You know, be ready for it. Expect it to suck. You're going to have to do it twice. The second time you do it, it's going to be in the middle of the fucking day. It's going to be hot. And kind of almost out of nowhere, these other runners cut up to us. And just, they were the wrong thing at the wrong time for me. You know, they were, they immediately started kind of humble bragging, I guess. Like, what do you guys, so what are you guys out here training for? And then, you know, when Cheesy said what he was training for, and from there, you know, they asked, is this your first one? Yes, it's the first one. They automatically went into like lecture lesson. Like, and I'm like, for real, like it really just rubbed me the wrong way. And so here's what happened to me though. I allowed that to piss me off so bad that it began the downward spiral of me because I was so fucking frustrated. I'm like, these guys, and you know what we ended up spinning to do? We actually ended up devoting a portion of our energy trying to avoid these yahoos on the trail the rest of the day. They were just, you know, you're like, dude, like, why are you, like, chill out. Like, so what the do not do is do not allow yourself to be exposed to vampires. And when we talk about vampires, we're not talking about like fucking Twilight shit. We're talking about emotional and mental vampires. They are the people who, when they run next to you,
they will suck the living life out of you.
They just bitch and they moan and this hurts and that hurts. Well, no shit, motherfucker. You're at mile 63 of a 100-miler. Shit's going to hurt.
Right.
But the more they bitch, the more they moan, that is going to bring you down. It's going to put you in a bad like moment of like zen, if you will. If you get around that person, you get around that group, it will benefit you greatly to slow down, stop to tie a shoe, stop to take a piss, stop to take whatever you got to do, separate yourself from that group. So the big thing to take away is do not get attached to vampires. Do not allow other racers to dictate your emotional state.
Yeah, and I think it goes along like what John was saying is there can be two train of thoughts of that is either they're going to piss you off like they pissed you off when you were like running beside them, or they're going to start making you realize, this does hurt. This does suck. Why am I, like it's just going to get in your head and then you're going to feel the pain. Your body's already felt the pain. You're overcoming it mentally. And all of a sudden now your body's reacting to what it's hearing.
One of the best like suggestions I've ever been told as a pacer is, and so pacing, I'm telling you, I've paced a couple times. It is hard. Being a good pacer is fucking hard. Yeah. I am going to tell you,
I was a shitty pacer, so I don't really.
I am not the best. I'm a good pacer for a very small portion of the population. You have to like to be a little bit abused.
You have to know what you're expecting.
So, as a pacer, you don't want to ask, how are you feeling? What the fuck do you mean? How am I feeling?
Yeah.
I fucking hurt.
Yeah. Do you know why you're running with me?
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure I don't die in the woods.
So, as a patient, you don't want to say so. I just while we're sitting here doing this, we did our show notes and like that, and something just dawned upon me. One of the things that we put down, we're talking about avoiding people who are going to drain your energy. For some reason, while we're sitting here talking about this, one thing that just popped in my head, and I was like, oh my God, that's another really important thing to kind of take note. Steve Hannes one year was running Mo 100 and got linked up with Steve Pierce. Steve, trail runner Pierce. Yeah. Steve Pierce is a fucking freak of nature.
Yeah, I met him at Forget the PR.
Homie can fucking fly, right? Side note, here we go, a little BS story for you. I am training for a Mo 1 year, and I'm up to do a 50-mile training run, right? And Steve Pierce, I post on Team Possum, like, hey, who wants to go, do some, all, whatever of this 50-mile training run with me? Steve Pierce reached out, hey, man, I'll knock out some miles with you. All right, cool, man, thanks. So we meet up there, and he starts off the run with me. And I shit you not, I think I could go to the exact spot on the trail we were. When I'm like, so, I really appreciate you knocking out this first loop. He's like, well, if it's, I was going to do the whole thing with you. Like, oh, man, sweet, thanks. Like, shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Carolyn Morgan's coming up. She's going to run the second loop with me. Like, are you training for something? No, not really training for anything. I'm like, oh, okay.
Just down for a 50-mile run.
Just down for a 50. And by the way, that is Steve. If you've never met Steve, if you guys don't know Steve, that dude would, I can't tell you how much he would bend over backwards. That man would give you anything of his and risk his own. He would jeopardize himself just to give it to you. He is a good dude.
Yeah, he's super nice.
So nice. So I'm like, well, what are you training for? Oh, I'm not training for anything. I'm like, oh, so what's your running been like? Haven't really done anything in a couple months. What do you mean you haven't done anything in a couple months? He's like, some 8 milers, 6 miles, maybe occasional 10, 15 sprinkled in here. But maybe only 1 or 2 of those. I'm like, wait a second. You haven't you barely ran in 2 months, and you're getting ready. I'm telling you guys, this dude drug my ass around Mo for 50 fucking miles. And he's bombing the downhills. He is a beast of a runner. Anywho, so that's your baseline for Steve Pierce. Extremely fast. So Steve Hannes is running with him, and again, both Steve's extremely nice dudes. They're running together. They get to chit chatting, and Steve Hannes did the very, 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 very smart thing and realized, fuck me, we are flying.
Yeah,
we are way ahead of pace I thought I was going to be at. I cannot sustain this. And Hannah's like, hey man, go ahead and go. And Pierce, being the nice guy, is like, no man, I'll slow down. Hannah's being smart, knew that
it would eventually creep back up.
It would creep back up because Pierce is a fucking freak of nature. Yeah. And they it was kind of funny. They had this nice guy debate in the middle of this aid station.
No.
No, you go. No, I'll stay. No.
You hang up first.
Yeah.
You hang up first.
So not only should you avoid negative people, avoid run your race.
Right. It is your race.
It's you.
Nobody else, especially in distances. Anything. Really any distance race in general. But when you're going into the ultra aspect, there's way too much time there.
Yeah.
That if someone's having a great feeling day and they're taking off a little bit, do not feel like you need to hang out with them. Baxendale and I've done that a few times where he's just felt stronger than I have at the start of the race, and our plan was to hang out together, and that fell apart within 5 miles.
You need to be mature and you need to be adult enough to recognize, hey, my dude's feeling it. Go ahead and go.
Yep.
Kind of like I wanted Cheesy Nuts to do.
Right. Just go, buddy.
Just, bro, you quit watching me die.
I'm a peacock.
Yeah, you got to spread your wings and fly. So run your race. Be smart about it. Do your thing.
Yep. I think along with kind of doing your own race and stuff like that is you want to make sure your hydration and nutrition plan is on point. So in addition to knowing what pace you're going to run, you should also know when you're going to eat, what you're going to eat, because that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. One of the coolest things I ever had someone show me, and Chad Hill showed me this. He had this I don't know. I would assume he just found on Google because he's a better researcher than I am. But it was essentially like you could put into the site how much you weighed, and then told it basically what your activity is going to be,
okay.
and it would tell you how many calories you're going to burn.
Okay.
And he's like, because Chad and I, now I'm bigger than Chad. Chad and I are usually right around about the same size. We're both Clydesdales, if you will.
Yeah, girthy.
We got that thickness. So he's like, he's the one who's like, listen, man, like this is how many calories you and I are burning. And I was like, shit, like so he's like, yeah, we need
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. He's like, we need to be taking in 100 calories this often. And then even with that, we're still going negative. So when you figure out that information, how often you should be taking in calories, how much you should be taking in, do it. And then on top of that part, the other thing to know, and an important thing to know is eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty,
yep.
Walk before you can't walk. Walk before you
walk while you can still run.
Walk while you can still run. The eat before you're hungry and drink before you're thirsty though, is super important. I would venture to guess the first time I ever DNF'd Mo, I know that the easy out is to blame the fact that it fucking rained for 18 hours.
Yeah.
The reality of the matter is I did a fucking shit job of nutrition. Now that I sit and I think about it, if I remember correctly, I didn't really begin doing goos and eating and shit until I get to aid stations or until like later in the game. Well, guess what? By then it's too late. It's about staying ahead of.
Yeah, if you're trying to play catch up,
yes.
John drug me through North Country because I was trying to play catch up, and like every aid station, he's like, eat this, eat this, eat. We're trying to get you somewhere just so you can cross the finish line.
It got to the point where we was doing like we were like force feeding just to try to get close back up. So, the best example or the best analogy I can give is if you ever talk to nurses and or doctors, they'll talk about pain management, right? And they'll give you pain meds before you're hurting. That way, you're not giving you major amounts of pain meds.
Right.
You want to stay in front of. Imagine a rolling ball. You want to stay in front of that rolling ball the best you can and not let it catch up to you. So that's knowing and understanding. So I guess the do not here is do not get off your planned schedule for hydration and nutrition.
Right. And then with the hydration too is overhydrating. That's a real thing.
Dude.
And also over electrolytes. Like too much salt, and like people love some salt tabs. And I haven't had too much experience with them. I've used them a couple times. I'll probably use it for kettle if it's too hot.
Yeah.
But I'm not on like the regimen where it's like one every hour like Burrier does.
Yeah,
like Burrier's like every hour he's popping one or two.
That dude sweats like I've never seen a human being sweat in my life. That dude can sweat buckets.
Yeah. But I mean, but it works for him. But again, it's
knowing what works.
Right.
Like
overhydration is a real issue, though.
Yeah, overhydration, and like people are like, it's kind of weird to think that you could possibly overhydrate because you're running and all that kind of stuff. But if you kind of all of a sudden notice that, like, hold up, like I don't have any salty stuff on me, or like I am pissing all the time. I'm like stopping way too much to piss. Maybe slow down a little bit on the hydration. Maybe look at popping a salt tab or something like that.
That happened to me in Iowa in this last race.
Yeah.
I felt really good. I was running super strong. Like I was close to PR. Like not even trying to. I was like, all right, I'm feeling really good. And then around mile like 2021, I realized I haven't been sweating the last 3 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit's about to fall off fast.
There goes the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now, and what's funny is like my issue is never, I don't think my issue is ever too much water. No, my issue is not lack of water. My issue is usually a lack of electrolytes.
That's mine too.
Is where I usually miss
I feel like I'm hydrating enough with water, but the electrolytes where you stop sweating because there's no more salt.
Now, with that being said, I've also discovered there's products on the market that I can't take, and so one of the good ways that I've kind of learned to kind of gauge where I'm at is I always keep my wedding band on. So if I look at my finger and my wedding band is beginning to disappear. it's a pretty good sign for me personally. That's usually a pretty good sign that I've overdone on the electrolytes.
Right.
And I need to back off on those and try to get just straight, clean, pure water. And then adversely, if I'm, not having any issues, I'm like, okay, I can keep flirting with my electrolytes a little bit and kind of keep them in balance still.
It's just paying attention to what you've used during training and not using anything new. That's kind of like flows into another thing
there you go.
Of you don't want to use new shit. Like you trained a certain way, stick with what you know. Don't try, and be aware. And most ultras are really good about telling you what's going to be at the aid stations. Yeah. You have some like North Country that won't have what they say they're going to have, and that kind of messes with you. But 95% of the time, I would say they're like, "Hey, this is the drink we're going to have. This is whatever," and that's kind of how you have to plan. Of all right, if I don't want to carry electrolyte drinks with me and they're going to have heed, well, guess what? I need to be training with heed.
Yeah. So another don't do. Another don't do is a don't do anything new, right? I mean, that sounds so fucking dumb and obvious, but I mean, it's insane how many times people are like, oh, I got this new vest. Like, why the fuck are you trying a new vest today? Right?
Bad idea.
Oh, I got look at my pretty new shirt I wear. Like, it's kind of funny. It's always kind of struck me kind of odd when people wear their race shirts, like that racist shirt.
Dude.
I don't get that.
That is a fucking rant of mine.
Like, I don't understand. Like, one, all right, we'll never mind part one of my rant that I really want to go on because I don't want to.
No, let's go on it. I don't care about it.
I don't want to ostracize anybody.
No, we will.
But the other,
it's probably the same part as mine.
The other part is you don't know how your body's going to perform to that shirt. Right, you don't know if there could be the way the logos
it could rub raw.
It could rub
chest,
something raw. It could have a seam somewhere. I've never understood that. I've never understood so I don't know if those people are just immune to chafing. Right. They don't even think about it. Like I think about that kind of shit because I know I have certain shirts that I wear for certain things.
And you can tell me what you think about these shirts. Like I love all of my possum shirts. I love possum races. We've talked about this last week on the possum episode. The Seamus shirts, I cannot wear them while I run.
I think it's because that logo is so thick.
It is massive, and thick. It's got multiple colors, and that's why it's so thick.
It's a thicker, heavier. It is hot.
It is hot, and it rubs everything raw.
Yeah, I can't. If I wear a Seamus shirt, it has to be for a short distance. Yeah, because it will fuck.
But we'll talk about my quick little rant. I mean, I don't understand why people wear a race shirt because the race shirt says you completed the race.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing it during the race? You didn't finish it yet.
They're confident.
Confident piece of shit.
They're confident.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
I know that's a different rabbit hole and we don't want to make people feel bad, but don't wear a damn race shirt until you're done with the race.
Yeah.
I put it on my shirt. My after race shirt is always the race shirt that I did there. So when I drive home, it's literally, I don't pack an extra shirt. I'm like, I'm finishing this race and the shirt they gave me is the one I'm driving home.
Oh, you better hope you never DNF a shirt.
Yeah, I tell you, man. No shirt on. So, why is that guy wearing no shirt? Because he didn't finish a race.
Yeah. We know what happened to him. So here's something that's kind of unique for longer distances races. Going to take a little while. If you watch a road marathon happening, people are flying through the aid station as fast as possible.
Yep. On
your ultras, do not be afraid to stop and take a break at an aid station. I mean, if you have the time, unless the sweeper is right behind you.
Yeah, that's the only time you need to keep moving.
And you have the breath of the Reaper himself on your neck. Chill out. Here's a good let's just talk because Mo's coming up here in 3 weeks or so. Let's talk about Mo specifically. At Covered Bridge, you're going to hit. You didn't get to stop there, and then after Covered Bridge, you are going to do a motherfucker of a climb up Hickory Ridge. The first loop, you're like, hey, Hickory Ridge. Oh yeah, this sucks as bad as everybody says it sucks because it sucks. I have yet to meet anyone that says, Hickory Ridge ain't that bad. Fuck you. Hickory Ridge is a motherfucker.
8 hours later.
Yeah. So, here's my suggestion to you. Especially at Covered Bridge on loops 2 and 3 specifically. 1, you're going to be fresh. You're going to be all kinds of adrenaline. 4, you just want to get that bitch done. You're trucking up that thing.
Yeah.
2 and 3, wrap this on for your head. Wrap this thought around. Sit down and take a breather. Let your legs get some juice back into them. do not be afraid, guys, to sit down and rehydrate.
Is that where you sat when on loop 3 when we went? What was that aid station that we got? We got you some pizza and sat you down in camp chairs.
That was pizza. Well, if you were with me, you did do the full loop, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the full third.
I don't know, but it probably was Hickory Ridge.
It was after you're like, I hate this climb, and you bitched the entire climb.
Oh no, that was that was Cover Bridge we stopped at. It's just a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It is vertical as all get out, and it's relentless.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, do not be afraid to sit down. If you're going down the trail and all of a sudden you feel like I kind of feel shitty, don't be afraid to sit. Guys, you have 30 plus hours to finish most hundreds, right? You have time. Sit down, take a breather, rehydrate. I've been a pacer with somebody who was kind of wanting to go, and had to convince them, listen, man, we need to sit down and get your shit together. Like, I'm watching stuff happening on the trail. You're not looking so hot. Let's take 5 minutes. Let's give up 10 minutes off from the cushion we've built and sit down here and get some nutrition in you, let you chill out, let you get back in the zone, and then we'll pick up and move out.
That 5 minutes you sit at the aid station is going to pay dividends.
Oh, it's
absolutely ridiculous how you take that extra moment as a breather and just sit and be like, just regroup.
Yeah.
And it happened at North Country. I felt like shit.
Yeah.
And I sat at that one aid station for just a little bit. And the next aid station, like I run over, you talk to Kayla like, hey, be at the next one too. Because he's not looking too hot right now. Yeah. And we fucking blew through that aid station because just sitting at that one, it just gave me something. Just something that 5 minutes. Again, unless the sweeper is literally behind you. You've got the time.
At the end of the day, though, rule number one, don't freak out.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know that I've ever ran even a 50K where something hasn't gone slightly wrong.
Something will go wrong.
Something's going to happen. I'm going to keep picking on. I'm going to keep pulling out Mo stories because Mo is what's coming up.
Yeah.
My poor wife. Got absolutely flipped the fuck out on by me because they took my drop bags to the wrong aid station. And I came into an aid station. I came into a spot where I thought I was going to have something. I didn't have it. And I lost my shit. And to my wife and crew's credit, they're like, okay, we got it. No worries. See you at your next aid station. All right, my head's fucking spinning. I'm acting like a fucking dick. I'm acting like a complete prima donna. And my wife's like, don't worry about it. We got it. It's squared away. It's not squared away. It's a bunch of bullshit. She's like, we got it.
Yeah,
Go on.
We'll take care of it.
You run. I'm like, argh. And I went on a trail. I got to the next aid station, and sure as fuck, everything was there.
Yep.
She handled shit. She got squared away. So don't freak out. Your crew is there to fix everything for you. They're there to fix shit. You have one job. Your job is to put one foot in front of the next and move down that goddamn trail. Your crew will handle everything else. You don't think. There's another one. I didn't even have that one marked down on the map or on the sheets.
You don't think.
Don't think. Don't do math. Don't do shit.
You basically need to prep and you should do some planning beforehand so your crew knows what to expect. But you're not the one. All your job is to run. Your crew you should have a crew that you trust enough and have explained what you need when you need it, because you're not going to be able to think in the wee hours of the night after you've been running for 12 to 20 hours. You can't think of, what did I say I was going to need now? What shoes did I want? No, you're going to come into an aid station. They go, no, we're changing your socks and shoes right now, and that's it.
Yep. Don't do ultra math.
No. Oh, gosh, no. Don't start pulling paces and find out where you're at cutoffs, because you'll start freaking out that you're like, I'm going to miss it.
You're not going to do the math right.
No, the math is not going to add up.
The math is not going to be right. I can guarantee you will think you're going to DNF. And more likely you will not. So don't freak out. Put trust in your crew. Put trust in your pacers. That's why you picked them. Right. You picked them because you had faith in them. So don't freak out.
And then also understand, like John said,
it doesn't always get worse.
That's right. It's going to hurt, and there's going to be parts that are going to suck. but it doesn't always get worse.
Doesn't always. I know a person who finished his first 100. He first 100 he entered, he finished. He's 1 for 1 on hundreds, and he said his low point was somewhere between mile 26 and the 50K mark. Wrap your head around that.
That's crazy.
You are you are running a 100-mile race, and all of a sudden you are in
the first 6 hours.
You're in the fucking hurt locker at mile 26 to the 50K mark.
Yeah, first 6-7 hours.
Oh my God!
No.
Like, imagine, and he bared down and said, you know what? It's going to get better. It doesn't always get worse. And kept trucking and fucking got himself a pretty shiny Mohican buckle. So don't let that shit freak you out. Don't freak out. It doesn't always get worse. Trust your crew. I think that is about all of the do's.
That's a lot of the
don'ts.
Do's and don'ts of, to get you through a race. I mean, I think it all gets summed up in that last bit. I mean, it doesn't always get worse. It's going to suck. It's meant to suck. We want it to suck. And one of the possum herders, who wants to hear the story of your great, wonderful, perfect race?
It was so sunny. No one wants to hear your story about it was sunny, 65 degrees, light breeze out of the northwest.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear about that shit.
No, they want to
Tell me the story about your fucking taint getting filleted off.
Yeah.
Blood gushing out
You
underneath
falling
your
down,
shorts.
falling down a mountain into
rained.
thorn bushes.
I want to hear
whether
about
it's
rain.
true or not. I don't care if it's true or not. I want to
Lie
hear
to
the
me.
story.
I want to hear about the rain I want to hear about the frogs and shit flying out of the sky, the hail. I want to hear that
Locust.
shit. Yeah.
Everything happening there. But yeah, I think that, like John said, I think that wraps up everything we were talking there in the subject. So yeah, I mean, that should be a pretty good do not list for the upcoming races. Any of those running Kettle or Mo in a couple weeks. We'll talk more about Mo probably next week or maybe the week after. Just as everyone gets their final preparations for that, maybe we'll give some Mo stories and that sort of thing. But yeah, just some things that are coming up here locally. We talked about, like I said, Kettle and Mo are around the corner. Kettle is this upcoming weekend. Again, it is Memorial Day weekend. So enjoy your grilling, but remember the reason why. Anything else local happening?
I don't know.
We didn't write anything down.
Yeah, you and I still got to. I was actually thinking about this today. We got to. I am all the way down with the idea of planning a.
Yeah, we need to do an event.
Run beer and BS Clippers game.
We'll look at. Okay, tonight once I get home.
Yeah.
I'll look up some Clippers dates and we'll
Yeah.
send them over and we'll figure out a date that works for
That'd be
us
so fucking fun.
and just do it there. I mean, because we can reach out to Clippers folks and be like, hey, can we do some sort of thing where they give
Yeah.
us because have you seen they give you those tickets? So it's almost like ticket stubs,
Yeah.
but they're like $10 in value.
Okay.
They would give them to us for $8 or $7. So
Yeah.
it's so if we get enough people there,
Yeah.
be like, we'll just prepay everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys are paying for your part because we're not paying for this. But yeah, we'll definitely have to make it a group outing because we've got people all over Central Ohio and some people that aren't too far out that wouldn't mind coming out.
How about oh shit. Coming up from Tech. Maybe we can catch him, Jesse.
Oh yeah, Jesse.
Maybe we can catch Jesse coming up from Texas.
We got to find out. We got to reach out to Jesse and find out when he's coming up here, and then we'll make that a thing.
When he's in Yellow Springs.
Yeah,
that's when.
We need to head out to Yellow Springs, anyways.
I want to go to
the brewery over there.
I want to go to Yellow Springs for a brewery, and Jay has. What we should do? We should see when Jay has one of his races out there.
Yeah,
Smithburger is out there now.
That is true. We'll have to reach out to Jay.
I don't want to run with Jay.
I mean, I'll run on the same trail.
The 45 seconds I get to stand next to him.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? Why are you walking?
Jay, bye,
I'm
Jay.
sprinting. That's weird.
That's just So
we'll make that happen. And there's a few follow-up things that we talked about, I think a few weeks ago now. We talked about Tailwind had sent us some items. I don't know if they actually wanted us to review them or if they were just sending them for us to talk about or they're just sending them to us.
I don't know.
They just found us online and said, hey, here's some cool stuff.
So here's what's kind of crazy. Speaking of old Cheesy Nuts, that dude has been using Tailwind for so long that we thought we got that rebuild shit kind of quick or kind of early. He has rebuild in a non-labeled, they sent him rebuild before they even had packaging for it.
Oh, wow.
He got it in this scary ass clear package with a little bit of nutrition information on it.
Here's Coke.
Yeah. Good luck. Figure out what it is. But
do I snort this?
Now here's what's funny. Cheesy Nuts disliked it so much. He's like, oh, they sent you some too? Here, take all of mine. He
wow.
hated the Rebuild. He hated the way it tasted. He hated the way it was chalky. He did not like it at all, which kind of weirdly echoes yours, right?
Yeah, my thoughts of it is I didn't, and I don't know, it didn't feel like it did anything for me, like from an after the fact. I don't know if it needs to be a harder workout. I don't know what it was. It didn't feel like it did much there.
What did you think it was going to do for you after the workout?
I don't know. I felt, because I used to take a lot of like protein shakes and stuff like that, like post stuff, and it felt like it helped with muscle recovery and that sort of thing. And it's hard to see if it's placebo or not.
Are you talking about like the next day, or are you talking about like immediately after drinking?
Next day.
Okay, yeah.
So not immediately after drinking.
Not sore.
No, not like I'm drinking and it's like my muscle pain's gone away.
I didn't know if you was expecting like a little energy boost or.
No. I meant like more or less to like the next day I didn't hurt as bad kind of thing. And there's obviously a shit ton of factors that go into that.
Yeah. So
but drinking it itself, the first time I had it, I drank it with milk because I didn't read the instructions, so that was my fault. But yesterday I had some, and I mixed it with the water like they said it would, and super chalky.
Yeah.
I had the chocolate one, and it just like I couldn't get it all down.
Yeah, So it's kind of funny that you mentioned like maybe not giving it the best try. I've tried the Recover Right. No, I'm sorry, not the Recover Right. The Rebuild. They call theirs Rebuild.
That's Hammers, right?
Yes. Well, so now remind me to talk about Recover Right here in a second.
Okay, I'll write it down.
All right. Rebuild. I tried a while back ago. Didn't think anything of it. Like, now here's what's different. Like, you and Cheesy are talking about how it has too much chalkiness to it. I am dumping one of those packets into a 32-ounce bottle of water.
Holy shit.
So I'm not getting the chalkiness.
It's quite diluted.
And I'm also not getting the flavor either. So it's one of those weird things where like, okay,
it's like dirty water.
Yeah. I'm getting just a little hint of vanilla and or chocolate, which I want I'm trying. But at the same time, I'm not getting all the chalkiness either. On the note of whether or not I'm actually feeling a pros or cons, I'm feeling better the next day. Admittedly, I drank like a fucking fish last night. So when I got up to run today, it wouldn't matter if I fucking took steroids or that shit. I felt like
that was
ass.
The end of that. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I'm just not. I will tell you this. Just to do a compare and contrast. I have used Recover Right before, and I think you and I have even discussed this. I am a huge advocate of Recover Right.
Yeah.
I honestly, and it could have totally been a placebo effect, when I was doing back-to-backs and I was really training for some bigger races and I was having to do 20 and 20 or whatever, I could all be in my head. I swear I'd wake up Sunday mornings ready to go for those for that next 20, and I felt good. So I don't know if that's in my head or not. So that's my thoughts on it. Like and then just Tailwind in general, that shit makes me swell up. I look like the fucking Michelin Man if I use Tailwind.
I don't mind their endurance stuff. I think I do like it during races as an electrolyte replacement.
So that goes back to knowing our balances and stuff like that. That goes back to knowing whether or not you have too much electrolytes or too much water.
Right.
If I use Tailwind, I can guarantee I could use one bottle of Tailwind, a bottle of water, and 2 liters of water. I could have one bottle of Tailwind, a bottle of water, and 2 liters of water, and I would probably still swell up with the Tailwind.
Really?
That shit makes me swell up so fucking bad. And it sucks.
Well, then I'll just take the rest of yours because I'll need it for kettle.
And what sucks is, I think I'll have to see. I might have some at home.
Okay.
What sucks is I want it to work. Like, it sounds like a great product. I hear all these people going on about how they love it, and I cannot figure out that happy median mixture of it for myself.
Yeah.
I want it to work, but again, it's fucking scary. My fingers are scary.
We have to reach out to Dave because Dave made a homemade Tailwind.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
We'll have to try that.
Fucking
Let's see.
chemist.
That's what happens.
So Recover Right.
So Recover Right.
I end up hitting it. Yeah.
So one other thing that happened this week that's kind of in our recommendations and added value is I was reaching out to some other podcasts on the Twitter sphere and Instagram sphere. I don't know. That's probably not a real thing. Instagram-ish. And reached out to Chrissy with Bad Case of the Runs podcast. I just thought that name was fucking hilarious. Bad Case of the Runs. And she starts her podcast off talking about like where the bathroom is and stuff like that. It's actually pretty funny. She's kind of funny. I think she's a mom out of, is it New Hampshire?
Yeah, she's up in New Hampshire.
She's up in New Hampshire. She sent me the address. She was, in the middle of nowhere.
The sticks. I will say, I've ran in Vermont. fucking beautiful.
I'm very excited to hit that side of the U.S.
I kind of want to take a summer vacation to that national park I was telling you about.
Yeah, the one we were talking about.
Yeah, which my understanding is it's right on the other side of the border into Maine.
Okay.
Like it's directly. So I don't know how close I'd be to New Hampshire. And again, I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I cannot remember the name of that goddamn park. Every time
you said you wrote it down somewhere.
I wrote it down. I've sent you and Jen text about it, but so I don't forget it. And I'd have to, in theory, I'd have to go back through my fucking text.
Through it, yeah. But yeah, Bad Case of the Runs. You can see her website is badcaseoftheruns.com. She's on Instagram, on Twitter. She's all over the place. I don't know all her handles there.
She's pretty funny.
But she's pretty funny, so definitely check out her podcast. If you like our stuff, you'll more than likely like hers too. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. What's kind of funny is we were chatting, what was this, Friday? We were chatting back and forth all day on Instagram, and John's like, because we both have the account on our phone, he's like, who the hell are you talking to? Like, what is this all about? And found out that she's actually running New York City this year, so I might actually meet her this year because I'll be in New York for the race. Might end up meeting her, which would be weird-ish,
yeah,
maybe.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
Be like, hey, we're pen pals. Did you just become my best friend? I think we should be pen pals.
Chrissy,
yeah. What's
Chrissy the Pirate.
Yeah, Chrissy the Pirate is her Instagram handle, and I think her handle on Twitter is different. But you can find her on Instagram there. She posts like a ton of pictures, and she's like all about them stories and them live videos.
Yeah,
we might be able to take something from her. We'll just steal like all the stuff she's doing.
Just start like just screenshotting it and put it.
Yeah, just literally
there,
like any of the memes. We're just going to repost her memes and say that they're our own. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. But yeah, check her out. Badcaseoftheruns.com. She is on Apple Podcasts. I'm not sure if she's on Google and the others, but I know for sure she's on Apple Podcasts because that's where I subscribe to her at. But yeah, as always, you can reach out to us on social media at Run Beer and BS. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'd love to hear your beer recommendations, topic ideas, share some training with us. If you, like John said, if you're going to be up at Kettle, definitely reach out to us. Maybe we can meet up. Maybe I'll see you on the trail. I'm doing the 100K, so I'm going to be out there for a little bit. Just a handful of bits, which is interesting because they have 50K, 100K, and 100 miler.
Yeah.
So the 100K is an out and back of a 50K, and the 50K people start like much later, kind of almost when the 100K people would be arriving at their spot. So you're running back with 50Kers that are fresh. I don't know how that's going to go well in my head.
Yeah.
That seems like that's going to be a mind fuck.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Like that's going to mess me up a little bit, but I'm not too sure. But you can reach us on the social medias. And one cool thing we have that we're slowly progressing on is we have a YouTube channel now. So we've been told.
I wasn't sure what you were going to tell me.
Well, we have the YouTube channel, and it's still just the audio. So just the audio of the podcast. But what we found is some people listen to this at work, and they shouldn't be, but we appreciate it.
Keep your headphones on.
Right now, there's not too many avenues for us to have the podcast where you can listen through a browser. You can do it on Stitcher. I think Google Play, I think you can too. I don't really use Google Play that much, but you can go to our YouTube channels. So we don't have a cool YouTube link because YouTube changed all the rules and we have to have like 10,000 followers to have our
YouTube
thing. But if you just search in YouTube Running Beer and BS, you'll definitely find us. I think I have like the first 10 episodes up there as of now. Who knows? We may have some surprises for you. We won't. That's the hint we'll drop. I'm really trying to think how we should drop.
Yeah.
The surprise that we have.
Yeah.
Because I think people will lose their fucking minds.
I think we should just put it on there, just have fun on their own.
Okay, maybe we'll just sneak it in there and just not say anything.
Not say shit.
Not say anything for a week, and then we'll bring it up the next week so we can get some. Yeah. We need to get views.
We're
all about them numbers.
We'll just see. Well, on the note of numbers, should we talk about what?
We'll get to that once I finish this part here. So yeah, you reach out to us socials, Run Beer and BS. Again, you can email us. We haven't gotten any emails from you guys. I'd love some emails. podcast@runningbeerandbs.com. Inbox is empty.
I can't stress how much we want to interact with you guys.
Yeah, we want to talk to you people.
It's fun. We love. So I absolutely love when people come up and like, Dude, I might or might not have the most recognizable voice ever. So people, I feel like I know your voice.
I feel like I've heard you while I'm sleeping.
So we love that shit. We love that shit.
It's great when you come up and you have like ideas or talking or like, hey, when you guys said this, or hey, that was super funny when you guys were choking on the ice house. Like,
dude, I cannot believe
the amount of people that have listened to that episode still cracks me up. But yeah, we love hearing from you guys, having a conversation. You can ask anyone that we've had, like, and people can comment on the thread on Facebook saying like, yeah, no, they've talked to us, and we'll have full off conversations with you. It's not a typical like, hey, you ask a question and we're like, here's the answer, thanks for listening. Like, we will have full off dialogue, and John and I both have the accounts on our phone, so it's both of us
because we have those kind of jobs. I had someone make fun of me a couple of days ago because if we ever make plans, if we ever decide to run together in a cab, I am a nerd. Like, I need clear and defined decision making. I need to know when, where, everything. Like, it has to be a very, like, there is no mutual mystification when I make a plan with you. We will know where we're meeting, when we're meeting, all that kind of shit. So I just had someone just kind of like mess with me about me being a mother hen about that kind of stuff alone.
Yeah.
So like, but they're like, don't you have a fucking job? Well, yeah, but I also have like huge gaps throughout my day.
I have some time.
Yeah. So
reach out to us on on social media or on the podcast email. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, we'd love if you would subscribe, whether that is on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, really wherever you find podcasts, we are more than likely there. And if for some reason you're listening to this and we're not on your favorite platform, just shoot us a message and we will make sure we get on there as well. There's a few RSS feeds that we have to submit, but we can make that happen. And also review our podcast. If you do enjoy it, we'd love to hear about it. You can review us on Apple Podcasts and Facebook. That's where we can see all the reviews and the ratings. We're up to like a decent amount of 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, which is is super nice to see. Just like people really enjoying kind of what we're doing. I mean, that's the whole reason we're doing this. If John and I just wanted to talk, we were already doing that.
we just wouldn't be doing it into the mics.
Yeah, now we're just doing it into microphones and we're editing it. And by editing, I mean I'm just putting an intro on it.
Yeah.
Because we don't remove anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And that'll be evident when you listen to this podcast and you hear us like discussing Memorial Day.
Yeah, we were talking about Memorial Day. Like, oh, they probably should have cut that out.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have done that.
Fuck it. You guys get the real deal. Like, we're trying to keep it as like straight up as we can possibly keep it.
Do we want to bring that up in that regard? It's like being straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, so like our goal is we joke around and talk about, not yet a sponsor and all that kind of stuff. Our goal is to never have sponsors because the reality of the matter is if you have sponsors, then you guys have to listen to us take like 15-second breaks every so often. Like,
you have we have an agenda.
And then you're like, okay, and now we need to tell you about
this mattress that I just got.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that. That shit is so fucking hokey, and it's so much of a sellout. It's fucking ridiculous. It's not really who we are or what we are. It's definitely not how we were brought up in the running world that we live in. As possums, it's not how we were brought up as runners. We never want to be that. With that being said, our goal is to always be 100% listener oriented, listener supported. There's some costs that go into doing this and like that, and if you listen to us and you like what you're listening to, and you want to support and help us out in any way, that is always appreciated. I know Jonathan had put. By the way, Jonathan does all the techie shit. He does all the editing and website shit. I know he had put a link on there a while back for donations and shit like that. If you guys have the ability, or if you want to, any donation just to show, hey, listen, like, we get it, we like you guys, we like, here's what I can give you. We really fucking appreciate that. And
we can guarantee that any funds that you do, it's called a tip jar, and you can find it on our website at runningbeerandbs.com. It's right on the homepage. Anything that comes in, it's not for John and I to like buy new shit. Like, it's literally just to pay for the overhead costs that cost to actually do the podcast.
Maybe some beer every now and then.
Well, beer is a part of doing the podcast. Yeah, so that's kind of that. But yeah, I mean, it's not. We're not trying to. We're not trying to quit our jobs and do this.
Yeah, we're not getting rich off this shit.
No,
it's just,
and we don't want to. We want to like give our advice. The whole point of this is to be like, hey, you're on a run with us. You're having a conversation.
Yeah.
But if you do enjoy it and you do want to just support it, throw a couple bones this way. We would. I mean, it's greatly appreciated. If you don't and you just want to listen to and be a freeloader, that's cool too.
Fuck it. Use us, abuse us, and throw us in the side.
Whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I'm down with that actually.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not mad at it.
Fuck it.
That's how it has to be. But yeah, I think that is everything for today. John, you got anything else for him?
I don't.
You guys have a wonderful week.
Peace.